The people here are the greatest people in the world. That's why we go around the world. When we leave here, we are successful. Youngstown people rule this world.
"40 Years of the Business Journal" is sponsored by Compco and these participating sponsors.
Youngstown was going somewhere, nowhere fast, and I was in a real bad situation because Youngstown wasn't evolving, but I was. And I needed to get out of here. And so I left out of here with $280, a Bible, and a Volkswagen Rabbit. And I was just running away from home. Anywhere but here.
What was your educational background?
I had gone to Hubbard for my elementary, middle, and the second half of all of my high school years after my freshman year.
Okay.
I went to Mount Calvary, Rand, and East High also.
Post high school?
I went to Youngstown State. I enrolled, but I skipped school during my high school years and went to Youngstown State. So I would skip high school, go to Youngstown State and sit in their classes and hang out there and then go home. So where normal kids would skip school and hang out, I would skip school and go to the university.
Yeah.
And I did that my sophomore, junior, and senior year.
Okay.
And so come senior year, I didn't have enough credits to walk across the stage at Hubbard. And so I could not graduate. So when I left here and went to Los Angeles, I got a proficiency.
Okay.
But I did not get degreed from anywhere. The reason why I wasn't in school is because I was a non-traditional student. And while I was on the Board of Education, that's how early college came into fruition. We need to comprehend that we're trying to teach children the way we want them to be taught. But all children learn differently. And had given the opportunity to find out that I wanted to read a little bit different, a little bit better, I may have succeeded during traditional academia. But right now, Youngstown's biggest problem, Mahoning Valley's biggest problem is the educational system here. And no one wants to attain anything better than what they have. Because you have a degree does not mean you're educated. And if we want to change the Valley, we have to change the information and the mentality of the Valley when it comes to education.
What led you to come back to Youngstown?
Youngstown's home. LA is tough. LA is tough. And it's a great place in your 20s and maybe when you are more established, but when you're trying to grow and build, and it's a different place. And Youngstown, when I came back here, I expected more from here. And I didn't quite get it, but I still love here.
What are your clearest memories about the Youngstown of 40 years ago?
The same thing as today, no direction.
What has changed, would you say, for this area?
If you had asked me that pre-explosion, I would have given you a different answer. But post-explosion of the Realty building, I don't think anything's changed. The same way that at that time In 1983, 84, Youngstown City came through and bought up all the buildings with no plan. Now we have empty buildings and exploding buildings, and we still have the same vision.
What needs to change to affect the kind of change that you are, in fact, talking about right now?
Youngstown has to go back to community and take ownership of its strengths and its weaknesses and be honest about them, because we have them both.
Okay, let's talk about that. What do you see are Youngstown's strengths, first off?
Youngstown's people. The Mahoning Valley people, Youngstown's people are its strength. The problem is they've lost their belief in themselves. So the pride is no longer there. They no longer believe in themselves, so the grit has sanded down. And every time they go to stand back up, something blows them down. But the people here are the greatest people in the world. That's why we go around the world. When we leave here, we are successful. Youngstown people rule this world. We don't know what we have in our own hand. We don't know how to polish the diamond in the rough. We don't know how to manicure the lawn of the park that God has given us, because we live in a beautiful park where our forefathers saw a future and where they dug in and built here. We take it for granted. And we just eat here and we forget that we've got to work here and seed here and grow here together. You've got the changing of the landscape of politics in general. And we need to realize the landscape of America has shifted, and we're not quite sure where it has. So whereas Ohio was the bell at one time,
Bellwether, yeah.
Youngstown was the weight.
Oh, okay. The clapper.
Right. And so now the landscape, if you look at who's running and how this is shaping out, I don't know if we've changed from blue to red, because the parties changed and the people just changed with the parties, but the parties aren't the parties, so people are just blurred.
Okay.
But I don't think they didn't change, because we're still the same. If you look at who's elected at your core of your local races, Democrats still rule. City council, townships, county commissioners, county offices. So you can't say their politics have changed.
You were involved with the Republican Party at the state level. Are you still involved?
No, I'm not. I am involved in the party, but I'm not involved in the organization of the party right now.
Okay.
Right now, I've taken a sabbatical and gotten Tracey better. After running for mayor, you have to take a break. You can't be with a microphone, know what you know, and be mad. Those combinations don't work. Until you have a community at large that appreciates information and education, you're not going to make children want to be informed and be educated. Because when you come home and you speak over your parents, it may not be a good evening. And if parents don't know how to deal with children who are educated and can articulate and communicate well with them, and they don't feel as though they're being disrespected, then we will have an education problem. My peers beat me down because you're educated. You talk proper. If I can't talk this way and I can't communicate and I'm talking over everyone and I'm using a bigger vocabulary and you're always correcting and you feel insecure. And when you feel insecure, then you have to dumb yourself down. So we have people going to work and we don't maximize at our best because we want to get along with everyone, because if I do better than anyone else, then I won't have friends. And so instead of hiring up, we hire down. Instead of leveling up, we level down. And we wonder what's wrong with our community because we keep leveling down instead of leveling up. And the Business Journal has done an amazing job in keeping the business community informed. But the problem is the Business Journal now is the only journal that we have that communicates any information, and it only targets the business community, which is narrowing, and the people at Broad now have no communication and no education at all. Youngstown has some of the most amazing people. You and I have just gone through something, and I am going through something that has really knocked my hair back.
Literally life-changing.
Absolutely. I've been through hurricanes, I've been through earthquakes, I've been through riots, I've been through some stuff. I've been evicted, I've been kicked out, I've been through fires. This right here, but this right here has shown me, you got little people that you thought you didn't like you, wanting to help you. You got this people, and this happens to people every day. Fires and things happen. But the people here in Youngstown, we got good people. And they want better. And they just want somebody to come in and do the right thing and lead them the right way, because if they do, they get behind it. I mean, I've seen campaigns here that have been amazing. And I've seen us do amazing things when we come together as a community. We just got to start doing that and taking that, whatever's going on outside of the Mahoning Valley, and saying not here, because here is home. And home is safe. That's why we love baseball. Home, safe. Youngstown is a safe place.
"40 Years of the Business Journal" is sponsored by Comco and these participating sponsors.